Thanks for that, Nadiya. They looked delicious. Right, Shelina, something to round off the proceedings.
You have had a lot of chilli so far, so I'm going to give you something sweet and cool. So we're going for a Turkish delight cheesecake.
Great.
And it's going to have pomegranate running through it, some roses, and like I said, I'm going to top it off with some
And this is one of
gold.
your sort of most requested recipes.
This is, yeah. So I started to make this for Eid and for parties. And everyone just loved it. It's quite different. And also, because I'm not cooking from traditions that I know, I said before, I'm the only Muslim in the house.
Yeah.
So this is my 5th Ramadan, actually. So I'm learning as I go along.
Okay.
So this cheesecake is really, really delicious. So I'm just melting the butter now, and I've got some crushed biscuits, which is going to be part of the base. But because it's quite sweet, I'm going to add in a little bit of salt, okay?
Okay.
Because just to kind of offset that kind of, you know, that sweetness. So yeah, the salt's going in. But I absolutely love the festivities around Eid. And if I'm honest, that's probably the reason why I became Muslim, because of all the food.
That is a commitment to food.
I am a foodie.
And this was about, what, 5 years ago?
It was. So I won MasterChef around 10 years ago now. I had a whole patch of grey to determine how old I am now.
Right.
But yeah, I won the show, and then I stayed in media. I did some cookbooks and everything. Yeah. But my biggest passion was to open up my restaurant. So I've got my Mauritian street kitchen, Asma down in Southampton, which is a, you know, it's a dedication to my mum and our kind of authentic Mauritian recipes. But this is certainly not. This is a Middle Eastern inspired dish. So the butter is melted. That's going to go straight in to the biscuits, and just leave that there. Give that a mix up, and then it literally goes straight into the fridge to set first of all.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
Roughly 5 years ago.
About 5 years ago, yeah.
And was that, you know, aside from the food angle?
Yeah, I think...
Was that off the... What else sort of drove?
You know what it is? Like, when you do MasterChef, your whole world changes. I mean, you know what the industry's like when you work in food. So you're just, like, on show, on tours, and it's just mental. And I always have been quite spiritual. Like, I studied psychology. That was my degree at uni. And Asma, do you mind popping that in the fridge for me? I'll pop that there for you. Yeah, so I always was naturally curious. I was actually born into Hinduism. That's what all my family still are. Then I went into Christianity, and then I finally became Muslim 5 years ago. So I'm not kind of like I said, I'm learning as I go along. Right, we've got double cream because, yeah, I mean, it's the same. It's all monotheism. So Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are all the kind of same angle, belief in one God. But I do find that there's so much cross kind of culture and religion, really. Right, in terms of the cheesecake, so it's a...
Does sweets play a part in celebration?
It's very big on Eid. I mean, everybody, and it's not that, you know, it's not good enough that you just make one dessert. You know, you're expected to have a selection because people are fussy. They haven't had proper dessert the whole of Ramadan, so they're going to be fussy. But also, you know, there are things that you can't make because there are aunties whose speciality is making a particular kind of dessert. You know, so we make firni, which is like, you know, rice cooked with milk. Don't say rice pudding.
It sounds like rice pudding. Rice cooked with milk, to me, sounds like rice pudding.
It is rice pudding on steroids, okay? And so firni is like cooked down, and there are, but you know, you can't absolutely make those desserts because it's their speciality. You can't copy. You know, you take away their thunder. So, you know, houses get known for certain things. So like the dal cha I had made, everybody knows that they would come and have this kind of healing, non-sweet, spicy thing at my mother's house at the end of the evening, and adrak chai. So, you know, just kind of, it's a kind of final way to end. But otherwise, people have sweets the whole time. It is quite excessive. I think it takes people like 1 month to recover from Eid eating.
What do you do the next day? Do you all go for a big
walk? You celebrate for 3 days.
Keep going.
You celebrate for 3 days. You have to maximize any weight you may have lost. Any kind of so it's non-stop eating. It's non-stop eating. It's celebrated over 3 days. It also gives people time to go and so you just meet your family one day. You travel. It's a bit like Chinese New Year. People go back to their villages, to their homes, and you know, they exchange gifts. And it is the most significant event for all of us. And you know, when he described it as Christmas, it is for us our biggest festival. You know. Beyond anything, because it is not just 1 day, it's over 3 days. And you then also invite people who are not Muslims. You know, you include people who, people who are your neighbors, people you went to school with. Because, you know, I grew up in a society where, you know, there weren't that many Muslims around.
Okay, so in here I've got
I'm missing it, sorry.
So we've got the cheese.
Cream and cheese.
Yeah, and it has to be room temperature
so
that it homogenises properly together.
Okay.
Then I've chopped up some Turkish delight, which is going to go in. And then for that sour hit, because you don't want it to be so sweet that it kind of kills you off. So the pomegranate goes in, and then I've been fasting for like 30 days or 29 days. And you want something that is going to be a showstopper without too much effort.
Yeah.
And this is really what this recipe is.
Okay. Hamza, what's the first thing you kind of reach for in these celebrations? Are you kind of got more of a sweet tooth?
You know, yeah, I think I've got such a sweet tooth, and the problem is, it's the hardest thing about Ramadan is convincing people who are not Muslim that I've been fasting for 30 days, because the amount of like sweet dishes I consume just on Eid, I'm like 30 days later fatter. Doesn't make any sense. I've been fasting for 30 days. I'm trying to tell people I have been fasting, but I have a belly, and people are like, no, you're not. And that's the hardest part, I think, for me. So yeah.
Right, this is going to go into the fridge now, and it's going to set overnight.
Okay. So what
actually? Okay. So she's half Moroccan, half Mauritian. So I do like to do like a mashup, a bit like Big Zoo. Like he's got the Sierra Leone Lebanese. Yeah. So I hope my daughter, when she grows up, will have this really interesting, kind of unique Mauritian and Moroccan vibe going on.
But you're fasting, but your daughter doesn't.
No,
Kids
she's
don't.
3. Yeah.
Kids don't. Or they dip in half a day.
They can dip in halfway, and the thing is that, it's actually very, very, forgiving, empathetic. If you're not well, or if you're traveling, you don't have to fast. Right. People think everybody has to fast. It's not true. If you're unable to fast, you can give the money of the amount of food that you would eat. Yeah. I don't know about Hamza. Hamza will get bankrupt. But how much you would eat for that day, you give to the poor.
Okay.
So it's a very thing. So if for some reason you cannot fast, the amount that you would have eaten at the end of the Ramadan, of that fast, you give to the poor. And that is actually a really nice way to kind of, I don't think people should judge those who are not fasting and those who are not. And children have to come to it. It's something very difficult. I would never ask my children, please fast. They need to want to fast. You can't make people do things. Yeah. Because, of course, because when no one is watching, you can eat and drink. Right. This is about faith.
Okay.
When no one is watching.
Willpower.
It's willpower and your faith. Your belief that this is what you're doing for the right reasons. So no one can make you do it. You need to want to do it from inside.
So, Shelina, it goes in the fridge.
It goes in the fridge, and it sets for around 4 hours, but preferably overnight. It's sort of lucky if, what Asma was saying about the moon, waiting for that big moon to arrive. Right. You can make it 2 or 3 days before and then forget about it, okay? So,
I want a slice.
You know what? This is going to be big enough.
Willpower.
Yeah, for later, not now. Yeah. Imagine I just break my fast live on telly, like.
Maybe when we go off air, maybe. No one will be watching.
Yeah, in my dressing room, we're going to open the door and be there like.
So this is all about the decoration.
Looks
this
so
one.
nice.
So we've got more of those kind of meringue kisses. I've chopped up some more Turkish delight, more pomegranate, and then finally I want to add in some of the rose petals as well. Because
you can imagine that on a kind of a big centerpiece on a table.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really impressive.
So we just pop that, and
presumably that's what you want when you go to somebody's house and they've got their big spread. It's all about the hospitality and how it sort of looks.
And when I think about it, like when I think about this particular festival, like my friends are a real mix. So we have like Nigerian, Indonesian, South Asian, and then you have Middle Eastern. They're like 1/5 of the world is Muslim. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that it's just one particular culture. Sure. So bringing something like this is just kind of reflective of all the other dishes that you're going to find.
And have you sort of created your own Eid traditions?
Yeah, I have. So with my daughter, we have like a little calendar for Ramadan, and then I put a sweet in it every day. She's only 3. She doesn't really get why mum's not eating. And everyone just has a big eat up. Okay. But this is our 3rd Eid that we have not done anything because of lockdown. Right. So I'm hoping...
Imagine next year.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So something like this, I can't eat on my own. Well, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you, I probably could.
You would?
Yeah.
Now listen...
And that will allow it to stick, because gold actually doesn't always stick and doesn't do what it wants to do. It sort of flies away.
This is why I'm wearing it.
That's why you're wearing it.
Yeah, because my dish was too bland.
What else would you put in this, JC?
Oh, I'm an Oreo man.
You've got Oreo?
Yeah, a bit of Oreos.
Okay.
Maybe, or peanut butter jelly.
Yeah.
That's in the cookbook.
Is that in your cookbook?
Peanut butter jelly cheesecake. Don't knock it till you try it. It's absolutely amazing.
Really?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I think I need to try that one.
I got it.
Okay, so I'm going to plate up a little slice for you.
Yeah,
Obviously,
please.
You're the only one eating.
So what's this here? This is the drink on?
Yeah, so basically in Mauritius, we have a drink called aluda, which is like a street food special.
Okay.
And across all the street vendors, you'll find aluda, which is, in my version, is coconut milk.
Word.
I find coconut milk is much lighter.
Yeah.
Across South Asia, it's called faluda, and it's normally made with vermicelli, cow's milk, rose syrup. But this one has got coconut milk in it.
Ooh.
It's got basil seeds, which are bloomed, and you've got agar jelly.
What is this on the top?
Yeah, those are agar jelly, and it's shaved. So it's basically, because we don't put gelatin in things, particularly in Mauritius, where it's a really multi-diverse and multi-religious country, agar is absolutely perfect.
That's really good. Right. Let me try this.
A big slice for you, as you're the only one eating it.
I'll describe it.
Let me know.
I'll describe it to you well.
I mean, that drink looks mad.
Look at this.
Why did I agree to this show?
Okay, so this is going to be
You know
a
the
heavy
word
slice.
It's patience in Arabic.
Yeah.
You're being tested.
This
Your sabr and patience is being
God.
tested.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Beautiful.
This is it.
Beautiful.
This is
Thank
the
you so
beauty.
much. Good Lord. There's an actual rose there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's an actual rose.
You're gonna eat that too in front of us, yeah?
Can you see it? Tom, can you see that?
Just gonna eat it in front of us.
Have a look at that.
You know, I got friends that don't drink in front of me because I'm fasting.
Yeah, I do everything, mate. You knew what you were signing up to. And he's, yeah, I'll go on that show. Yeah, I'll sell my book.
Is it good?
Is it good?
Oh, delicious. That's delicious. I took quite a big mouthful. Now I've got to eat it quite quickly because they're shouting at me that I've got to read something in a minute. So I'll stop talking. But that's really good.
It's kind of sweet and savoury at the same time because of the pomegranate. It's not over sweet. I think that's.
Well, you're right. It's cut with the pomegranate.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's really, really good. Really good. Asma, one last thing. You were on social media this week.
Yes, I was on social media and I just asked people that, celebrate Eid with us. Because, all of us do Christmas, we all do Christmas dinners in some ways. And I just want people who are not Muslims, who have not fasted as well, Muslims who have not fasted, cook one of these dishes, Cook an Eid dish, be part of this, build bridges with our community, and celebrate.
Send in the photos. Sadly, that's all from us today on Celebration Kitchen Live. Thanks to Asma, Shelina, Hamza, and Big Zoo. All the recipes from the studio are on the website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Now, I'm back here live next week with Glyn Pennell, Salia Mahmood Ahmed, and Jay Blades. To everyone celebrating at home, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.